pretty crazy day today. Johnson Johnson gets cucked. Market is unsure what to do. Futures are not sure what to do. Crypto knows what to do though. Crypto coin is all up on Coinbase IPO tomorrow. Things are looking fairly solid there. All kinds of great things happening on that. Again, guys, huge shout out to currency.com. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, there is a command in the chat here on Twitch. You guys can see the panel down below, but you can also just click that link right there. Check it out. One-stop shop for you guys to be able to trade all that cryptocurrency. I hear a lot of people saying, I don't know where to get my Bitcoin, my Ethereum, my Ripple, Litecoin, Doji, whatever it is that you want to trade. There it is. It's there for you. Currency.com. Check it out. $50 bonus for sign up. Highly recommend it. Thumbs up. But yeah, with that being said and that being done, guys, I will be actively using currency.com from this point on and even through the sponsorship for live tracking of crypto value. I do like the charts. I do like that they're all readily available there for me alongside some other great live metrics. So big fan of the tool, big fan of this live tracking. Really like just the way the charts are laid out, quick, easy, fun and friendly for everybody. We're going to have an interesting day today, guys. For those of you that follow on Twitter, thank you for all your follows. You'll see that I was having a bit of a rough day at the end of the day yesterday. Not sure what's happening. Just, that's the way depression goes. It kind of just hits you and runs in cycles. So I'm not feeling great right now, but we're going to get this stream done. We're going to roll through. I don't know how long I'll be around today. It might not be too long, but I'm going to do the best that I can to push through the stream and make it happen. So good morning. Let's open up the marbles and we'll get that set up.
There's something I was supposed to tell. Oh yeah, now I remember. So Nicola's at 1170 millennial.
10 was my buy.
Their lockup was on the 30th.
Yeah.
So I think this actually might be more of a short because the amount that's coming out of lockup is going to overwhelm the current situation right now. And given that the last time I saw them like being posted on CNBC about the EV hype and craze and stuff like that, no one gave a shit. They just kept shorting Nikola.
Yeah. So back when we were talking about Nikola and its value and everybody just saying, well, no, it's dog shit forever. And I had said, yeah, I think around $10. It's not like the company doesn't have anything. It does have something. It does have some partnerships. There is some value to the company. And I would take a look at it at $10. Ride is actually where I would go in that industry right now, to be honest. They've got an actual vehicle that drives itself. It doesn't need a hill to make that happen. I like the beta. I like the team. I like that they're being honest and forthcoming. They've got a great setup already. They're working on existing EV partnerships. I just like Ride better overall. Okay, guys. That's kind of where I am on that. I don't know that it would go anywhere else. Eric, 7 months in a row. Let's go. Thank you.
Lordstown actually had like cars and stuff like that. The partnerships, like Nicola's had quote unquote partnerships before too, but what I was saying was that remember when Rita was playing that through that study, the one where it's like after the lockup period it happens and all the shares come into the market, you have to see if there's actually any liquidity out there. And given how much of a poison Nikola is right now, I think that it's not like this. Even with any sort of hopeful sentiment, no one's caring. It's just gonna keep like everybody's gonna try to get out as fast as they can, as much as they can, and there's not gonna be enough liquidity for them.
I like Ride better. That's kind of just where I am at this point. Do I still think there's potential play on Nikola? Yeah, I do. I think that there is value to them in the long term. As a 10-year hold, I think you'll probably see it as a $15 stock, 5-10 years from now. I don't know that I'm willing to wait on that. I think Ride is going to have much more explosive growth. I think we'll see Ride by the end of October. How's the weight cut? 15 and a half pounds in 2 weeks, which I'm pretty happy with. I'm only doing a weigh-in once a week. Every Friday I'm going to do a weigh-in. There's no point looking at the scale every day, but I will be doing a weigh-in. I'll go over the outline on how that's working because I'm one of those guys that doesn't want to restrict my diet. I want to eat pizza. I want to eat burgers. I want to drink a beer every now and again. I want to have a scotch every now and again. You know what I mean? So it's an interesting diet that I'm able to eat what I want but I can still lose weight consistently. And right now, that's doing it without a gym. So people always laugh at Planet Fitness Pizza Fridays. Well, okay. If you know what you're doing and how you plan your outline, it's still possible to eat the pizza, chicken wings, burgers, beer, scotch, and lose weight. It is possible. I am in AQB leaps. Well, as far as I can go out on AQB, I am in options on them. I am not in equity on them. I will probably look at getting into equity on them if FTOC or SNDL runs. Zemetica at this point is looking at like a long hold. I'm hoping no longer than August, but it may be into April. Zemetica has become my ACRX of the year, I think, which is fine. I'm okay with that, but that's definitely the current situation with that. I have not been watching Falcon Winter Soldier. I watched the initial episode when it came out, and then I decided that I would wait. I would hold off until all the episodes are out, and then I'll binge watch it. Same thing I did with WandaVision. I prefer to watch like a 6-hour movie of Marvel than watch it every week. That's just not my bag. I'm not the same bat time, same bat channel kind of guy. I like to binge it and do it all at once and get the whole story start to finish. Um, yeah, I'm sure I'll love it. The Flag Smasher series from the comics was one of my favorites. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see Nomad. Nomad was a big part of my love on that, where Captain America just abandons his costume and sticks to his ideals, but abandons the flag. I don't think we get to see that. But good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Okay, play to get in. I'm going to go get a coffee, guys, and then we're going to get this done. We're going to make this happen. I don't know how long I'll be streaming today, but I'm going to do my best to stick around as long as possible. Again, tomorrow, guys, I plan to have that video out, how to play the market and win based off of the sports metaphor. So go ahead and get in. I'm going to go top up my coffee. I'll be right back. Oh, yeah. For those of you guys that weren't here yesterday, I did say I'm trying. Twitch has these new ads that are poll ads that I want to try to get in the beta for, but in order to get into the beta for it, you have to regularly run ads. So I am going to be doing that whenever I piss off to get a coffee or a water or a washroom break. Just a 1 minute ad. If you're a sub, you won't see them. If you aren't a sub, well, thank you so much for watching the ad. In before many coffee breaks, yeah. I'm gonna be reasonable about it, guys. Oh, Jay walked in during the morning call. I was just wondering. And here, oh wait, ago. Oh, Sir Saibot, we guten morning. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, I'm not. I dropped the. I dropped the ball this morning, boys. Dropped the ball. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I should say. I know there are some fantastic ladies. Who's it gonna be? Am I gonna take it today? Am I finally gonna win one of these? I hope so. Yep. Yep. People on LinkedIn did add me. Their marketing guy or their sales guy. I can hop on the LinkedIn after here and show you. Um, yeah, yeah. I messaged them. Just telling them that it's great to connect. They can't divulge anything. The value for me with Zemetica is or being connected to people at that executive level is sometimes you can read between the lines on the stuff that they post into their social profiles. Hype about upcoming events that they're attending, um, any potential news that they're excited about something. Sometimes these execs, especially the sales and marketing guys, they like to just put info out there, and you've got to kind of tie the pieces together, but it can still be of value for you to listen. Listen to this, snags it in before the win. You pick the ticker, sir. You pick the ticker. Listen to this. Guys, book for the week was the 100 bagger, which I think is becoming more and more relevant, where you cannot be trading on the day and the week right now in this market. It's too insane. So instead, you may need to look at a longer term strategy. I added it to the list. You guys can check it out there. For those of you watching on YouTube, you can see it down below in the description. The reading list is there for you guys. Check it out. I highly recommend the read. It was definitely a different style of trading than what I'm doing currently, but there is great potential for people that are passive investors. You got a day job. You put aside a certain amount of money every month to put towards your portfolio. My portfolio. Let's take a look at how she's feeling. It's probably not feeling great this morning, I'm gonna be honest, but let's go here, and then we'll do this. All right, portfolio is down 45%. Current value, total market value is 58.5, which I think. No, I'm still up 8 grand on the year. I'm still up 8 grand on the year, but it's coming down. It's coming down. This is not a new platform. This is a new platform. This is the currency.com platform. I'm going to use this for real-time tracking of crypto value. You No, you're not too late. You can give me the ticker that you would like. Listen to this. But yeah, guys, I'm not sweating this. So what I agreed to with these positions in my mind was, irregardless of the hype, irregardless of what anybody had to say about these things, the three things that I am looking at are this. With Zemetica, they are a company that has never produced revenue before. They have a product that is going to be first in class, in my opinion. They are becoming the Xerox of animal testing. They also have a liquid biopsy that's coming down the road. They are only open to the East Coast sales, but they will be opening it nationally across the end of the year. This is becoming a long-term hold for me, and I am okay with that. I know there's a lot of people out there that would have run for the hills already. They're wondering why I haven't, because I don't see this as a $2 stock or a $1 stock. I see it as an $8 to $10 stock. That a guy like Cohen has gone silent. He knows that he has to give people PR. So, in my opinion, he is waiting to drop something big. Whether that happens on the May earnings or not, who knows? However, for me, I am not sweating Zemetica. I see what it is. I know what it is. I'm not sweating it. With SNDL, guys, it's a pot play. Until pot is legal in the States, I said I wasn't going anywhere. They are debt free. They are sitting on $700 million, and I am waiting to see where that money goes. When those announcements come, SNDL has a high likelihood to run, especially if they announce something in the US. Now, 420 just before or just after, we tend to see a lot of PR out of the pot stocks. Given that they're below $1, they know that they want to stay compliant on the NASDAQ. So I think that, or the NYSE, I'm not sure which one they're on actually. Um, anyway, they want to stay compliant, so they have to get this back above $1. That's either going to happen through buyback, PR, something. But I'm willing to just wait on that. In regards to FTOC has agreed to pay near. That's happening. That's a when, not if. NASDAQ. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, so I'm really not sweating it, guys. I know a lot of people would be sweating it. There's a lot of people sweating it for me, saying, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?" I just want you to know, I am okay. I am fine. Um, remember, guys. Remember, guys, that this portfolio started last year with $2,200. That my current account value is $60,000. I'm not crying about it. Okay. Um, I'm okay. I'm playing on market money, right? I'm playing on market money. I can hold. I can wait. I know that we set the target for the stream for the year, and I would love, guys. I would really, really love to hit this 500K challenge by the end of the year. Don't get me wrong. I would love to do that. But if I don't hit that, I'm not going to make quick decisions and rash decisions to hit that arbitrary target. I'm going to do what I think is best for my portfolio. So for me, I'm going to continue to hold Zomedica in my position. In my opinion, buyout is a huge possibility for them. Great sales numbers is a possibility. Long-term hold into fantastic growth on the booming pet market is a reality. So for me, guys, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just not. And I do appreciate those that are reaching out like, oh, are you okay, millennial? Just know, guys, that anytime you ask me that question, the answer is going to be yes, I'm fine. It's not like I'm playing with money that I can't afford to lose. I am doing just fine on this, guys. I am not hard up for cash. I am fine. So I can afford to hold this. If you guys are playing these tickers, though, and you are playing on cash that you can't afford to lose, or you are margined into these, please, 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 please consider what you are doing. Which they will, in my opinion, Saki. And again, guys, this is my opinion. In my opinion, no Olympians. I also I don't play that. I don't play that retroactive of would I go back and do something differently. That line of thinking will always have you second guessing your decision making. So for me, I don't. I just don't do that myself. My trading methodology doesn't do that. And I know psychologically, I'm not going to play that game of what if, because that doesn't do anybody any favors. What if doesn't play. You have to, for me anyway, I have to be realistic. Would I go back and do something differently? Doesn't matter because I didn't do it differently. I have to accept where I am now and question what am I going to do here and now. I have committed in my mind, I do great DD. And when I call out a position and I hold that position on the DD, the time and effort and research that I put into a stock, I get paid out. Now, is it as much as I think it should be? No. But remember that I did this last year with ACRX, right, guys? A lot of people gave me a lot of shit for ACRX for a long time of, oh, it's still going down. You're not going to make your money back. You're so deep in. You're going to make a loss on it. And I had to wait all year on it, and I made gains. I made gains on it. And people say, yeah, but it didn't go on your DD. It went on some article that made it go, and that's why you got in, and that's why you made money on it. It doesn't matter. I did my DD on the position. I was willing to hold it. I made money on the position. I'm okay with that. I think the same thing is true here with Zomedica, FTOC, and SNDL. Now, FTOC, I think of the three, is my most certain cash in hand position. I think FTOC, irregardless, is going to take me back above the 100 grand mark. I am not I'm not fluffing up the case that Payoneer I think is worth $30 a share. I think that's very realistic for that position. So I'm not really sweating it. Listen to me, man. Listen to this. Sorry, AHC is what you want. Okay, AHC. Is this the right one? Did you want the one on the US or the one in Canada? Apollo Healthcare or AH Bello Corp? Yep. I ran a whole short strategy in the US. Okay. I ran a whole short strategy last year and made about 40% on the strategy. So I have shorted stocks before. I do have some experience with it. There are very tight rules. I only shorted stocks on the day. I didn't hold long term on shorts. I just wasn't comfortable holding that on interest. But that was at a time when we were seeing daily runners that went up 300, 400% in a day. We're not seeing that kind of growth anymore. The top gainers on the day are anywhere from 70 to 80%. So it's a very, very different market today than it was then. The other thing, guys, and this is where reading about market history can come into play big for you guys. These talks of, inflation is the doom of us, it's coming, the market is going to crash, Biden, yada, yada, yada. Guys, all of this crap, all of this has happened before. This is nothing new. So if you're new to the market like me, this may seem new to you, like, oh no, this has never happened before. This happens regularly. The market goes in cycles like this. There's a reason why guys like Warren Buffett and Soros are not sweating balls on this, because they understand this just happens. And they play the way that they play, irregardless of what the headlines are reading. Oh no, you need to be worried about hyperinflation. The market's going to crash, and the bubble, and COVID, and blah 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 blah. This has all happened before. Okay. Spanish flu, AIDS epidemic. We've been here before. Global epidemics are a thing. We've been there before. So when you see guys like Buffett who have been through these things, and his response is, I'm going to stay the course. Well, then my response is, as a basic bitch, I'm going to stay the course. Eons of the universe, thank you so much for the follow, man. Let me know how you found the stream, what it is you trade. Quick reminder, guys, if you enjoy hanging out here, if you could do me a quick favor, tasty, quick favor, share this out on social, wherever you can. If you're a Twitter folk, if you're a stocks Twits person, if you enjoy hanging out here, it helps me grow the stream. If you guys would share out the link to the social networks that you are a part of, if you're watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever, if you would reshare it, like, subscribe, all that jazz. Let's get that out of the way. But I do see some of you guys throughout the day sharing out the stream, and I do greatly appreciate that. It helps the stream grow a little bit, more people hanging out in here. I'm not looking to have thousands of people hanging out in here, because I like to actually have conversations with you guys, but I do appreciate all of you guys that put that out there. So market is open, and AHC is up a little bit, down from yesterday, but a nice green candle for it coming out the gate. Let's check the portfolio, see where we're at. 57,000. FTOC's up a little bit, but Zomedica, SNDL continue to decline. So pretty much what I was expecting on the day. Yeah. And so the lesson for me with Buffett selling his airline positions, guys, was Buffett isn't afraid to take a loss. And that's great to know, because in his opinion, it wasn't that airlines were at the bottom. That wasn't his thought process on that. His thought process on evacuating out of airlines was airlines are never going to be what they were after this. His analysis on airlines is that companies are not going to go back to flying the world. He doesn't see airlines recovering to the level of their usage as they were in the past. They will still be used for travel and recreation, but the business side of aviation is going to be private planes, not massive planes, not first class. Don't even know if he took a loss or not. No, he definitely took a loss. He took a loss on them, but he made gains on taking that loss when he did, because he bought into a whole bunch of other stuff that went up afterwards, right? So Buffett knows what he's doing. And he's also not playing on the week, month, day, hour tick. He's playing a bigger game. The other thing is, you have to understand that Buffett with Berkshire has premiums coming in from the insurance month after month after month that he can just put more money in, right? So even Buffett taking a loss, he can still make a win out of it. For those of us that don't own an insurance company, that's not as easy. GME sitting at $1.40 right now. If it falls below that 140 line, I think that we'll see it go even further. Tesla is moving. Let's see here.
I see people come to my comment section the other day for GME because it was down so much.
Batman Stock Guys call. Appreciate all the DD. Hey man, I love doing it. If it helps you guys figure some things out, things and stuff, then I am more than thrilled to do that. Do you think Wader will get to $4 before next year? It's $3 now. 280 now. It depends. So this depends on what the restaurant industry does coming out of COVID. If people continue to use takeout features like Waiter and Uber Eats after COVID, then yes. If the habit is built, and I think that they've been using this long enough now that we could safely say that a habit is being built. People are still playing GME on the narrative that it is still a large short position that is being held that has not been covered, and you holding your shares makes it so that they can't cover. Unfortunately, the reality is Saki, no, it's not. I try not to mention the exact same things that I do on Stock Guys Call as I do here, just because Stock Guys Call people actually pay for that DD. It's a morning call where people pay to be a part of it, so I try to provide added value on that. Now, that's not to say that you guys that are subscribed here aren't getting value, because there are definitely a ton of things that I talk about here on this stream that I don't talk about in the morning call, just because I have more time. You also get a lot more in-depth analysis. So a lot of people are playing GME, guys, on its short interest. Okay, so let's actually take a look at its short interest. I'm seeing no data available on Fintel for this.
No,
So
they
let's
changed
go.
that They changed that sentiment now, millennial. It's not just the short interest. It's to, and I quote, take it to the hedgies. What? Take what? Your money? Look.
Um, Yeah, so it's at an 18% float where it used to be 300. Now, there's people that are saying this isn't an accurate number, that you can't actually know the short float, and the short float's actually insanely high still. It's like 120%. People just don't know it. And them holding on forever is going to make this price continue to go up one day, someday, soon. The scariness with this, guys, for me, is it's not DD on the stock itself, on what the stock is trying to do, the company, the profitability, the forward guidance, any of that, okay? What it is that they were what they're trading on here is speculation that the numbers that they can see are false, that the zeitgeist that is working against them to hide facts and manipulate the stock to keep it from soaring to $1,000. So it has become a conspiracy theory at this point.
Have you ever seen, or have you ever read the book called the Richest Man in Babylon? The sentiment in there is that if you were to go, I don't know, like you wanted to remodel your bathroom, right? You go find a handyman that actually has years of experience to do this, right? Similar to how, like, if you need, um, like a medical checkup or something like that, you don't go to your grocery store. Like, it's, you go to people who are actually in the know, and these people have only, like, I want to say less than a year of experience in the market and actually knowing like what could happen or what has happened. They only are talking about what they think can happen because their feelings. I mean, like, honestly, if a doctor was to tell me, like, yeah, I think that you probably have cancer, like, okay, well, what's your proof? Like, you just show like you're tired all the time and that you're bald and stuff like that. Like, okay, cool, that's great evidence there.
Okay,
It's just
I want to introduce you guys to the story of GME. It's not a new one. This was written a couple hundred years ago by a guy named Hans Christian Andersen. Okay, so there's an emperor who lives in a town. The town is a phenomenal town where people are always happy every day. Lots of strangers came, and then one day two swindlers showed up, and the swindlers show up and go, "Okay, well, we designed the best clothes ever designed ever." And the emperor hears word of this and goes, "Oh, those are the clothes that I want. I want the best clothes ever designed." And so they show up and they set up two looms and they say, "Well, here's the narrative. The narrative is that we are the best. This is the best. Trust me, it's okay. And look, we're going to keep putting out these amazing clothes on these looms," and they're pretending like they're making clothes. And then they show up to the emperor and they say, "Here are these fantastic new clothes that we've made for you. Aren't they awesome? Trust us. They are the best of the best because we only do the best. We put in the work. We do the best. You can trust us. Trust us. It's fine." So, for those of you that don't know the story, as we're going to go through this, they keep explaining to the emperor, "Oh, no, 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 I know you can't see it, but let us explain what this looks like. Because the clothing is invisible, you can't see it yet, but let us tell you what it looks like. And then you'll know, and only the elite, only those that have this secret knowledge can actually see these fantastic clothes." And so they explain, "Oh, these colors are magnificent. It's such a beautiful, wonderful thing." And all the people in the king's court start to jerk them off and go, "Yeah, you're absolutely right, your majesty. These are beautiful clothes, and we are wealthy too, so we can also see how beautiful and wonderful these clothes are." And all of this is well and good until the day where the emperor decides to hop on his horse and go for a parade through the town to show everybody his new fantastic clothes that have been made for him. Well, suffice it to say, as he's going through the town, the small children on the street start to laugh because here's the emperor in his underwear. He's not actually in his underwear, he's butt naked, sitting on a horse, riding through town, butt naked, looking like a giant ass. Okay? And the sad part is, when he realizes he's butt naked on the horse, all is too late. He can't turn back. The damage is done, so he just rides the parade through. That's where we are with GME, guys. The Reddit Wall Street Bets community, what they have done is they have gone out there and they are the guys working the weaves. They are the guys saying, "Oh, we'll tell you what this is. We've done all the research. Let me tell you how amazing the stock is, and this is how this works, and short interest in dark pools, and we're going to put out YouTube videos every day, and it's going to be this amazing thing. I promise you, this is the best stock ever. It looks wonderful, it looks amazing." And if you are an ape, you understand exactly what we're talking about. You can see how wonderful and amazing this position is, and how huge it's going to be, and how amazing it's going to be, and all the other people that are apes go along with you, and everybody holds the stock, and they hold the stock. Unfortunately, the day is coming where you are going to take that stock out into the real world, and the rest of the world is going to point at it and laugh because you're going to be butt naked apes holding a giant turd. Okay, that's the emperor's new clothes. This is a tale as old as time. It's hundreds and hundreds of years old. It's not a pyramid scheme as much as it is you listening to people on the internet for financial advice, which is a great segue into my disclaimer of anybody you hear, myself included, on this or in chat or on audio. We are traders that trade for ourselves. What we're doing here is trying to educate you guys on our thought process, what we think, what we see. And you are not to trade off of our trades. You're not to shadow trade. You're not to take our information as fact. I encourage you guys to go do your own DD. Learn, read. Read is key. Hey, millennial, can you give me financial advice? No, I can give you life advice. Here's life advice as a life coach. Okay, you ready for this? Read often. Read as much as you can. There's a reason why CEOs and executives and successful people read at least a book a week. There's a reason why. Some of them read a book a day. Read at least a book a week. Read often, read a lot. Do not listen to people on the internet. I don't care if it's Wall Street Bets. I don't care if it's somebody with 1 million viewers on YouTube. Do not take them at their word ever. Don't take me at my word ever. If I say I like Zemetica, I'm going to hold it because of this. Or I like FTOC because I think it's a sure thing and Payoneer. Call bullshit on me. Break it down. Actually look at it. Somebody throws an article in and you go to the article on Motley Fool and they say, it's funny that this guy's the first one. 3 high-yield dividend stocks that'll help you crush inflation. Figure out who this guy is. Actually take a look at these things and figure out for yourself, are these things worth holding? Are you bullish or bearish on REITs? I hate that. Duke Energy, an electric utility stock. I'm not huge on that either. AT&T, I like AT&T. I finally agree with Sean Williams on something. But do it for yourself. Break down the sectors. Do the work. Do the homework. If you're going to self-manage your portfolio, put in the time. Don't slack on this, guys. Get the information. Get the data. Do your stuff. Awesome, Oculus. I love hearing Occultus. Sorry, not Oculus. Occultus. Reading is amazing because... Okay, time to do paint. The brain is a really cool thing, guys, okay? People see the brain like this and they figure, okay, well, it's like a muscle that you gotta work out at the gym. And if you don't work out at the gym, then you're gonna be the stick man that's this guy over here, okay? And he's gonna be the guy that's like this, and then he's got his neck and his arms. And then if you don't go to the gym, you're big and fat like this. And reading is gonna make you skinny and muscular instead. That is not it. Okay? That is not it. That's not how the brain works. The brain is actually more like this. You have thousands of little islands inside your brain. And as independent little ideas, they actually don't carry much value, a single idea. Okay? These tiny little ideas. And it's actually millions and billions of little ideas because every memory, every sensation, every feeling, every little tidbit of knowledge that you have is a new little island. Okay? When you read frequently, whether that's SEC filings, whether that's reports, headlines, articles, books, you watch YouTube videos, all of those things, that's just information. But the cool thing that your brain starts to do is it starts to do this. It goes, oh, these ideas kind of work together. This is like a little island. And eventually what it does, instead of just those direct connections, is those little islands become one bigger island. And it groups all those ideas together. And now you've got a bigger island that's working together as a concept. And that starts to happen all over your brain when you read and you continue to learn consistently over and over and over and over again. And what you've got are these bigger, stronger ideas that build millions more of these big islands. And you go, now you're connecting these big islands. And as these big islands start to connect, you create bigger islands of those big islands. And then those bigger islands start to group up more and more and more and more. And this is how you get from basic understanding, right, when you're a small child, into a doctorate, a PhD. It's just that you have more ideas that your brain is connected together into these bigger islands, okay? The more reading you do, the more learning you do, and the more consistently you do that learning, the more that you've got this massive island building in your mind that you can connect things together with, right? So, am I authority on a ton of different things? No, but I put in 14 hours a day, 6 days a week last year to learn the market, and I was able to put in that time to grow my understanding very quickly, where there's people that have been trading the market passively for 5-10 years that don't know what I know. And I can do that because of how quickly I'm learning. Now, a lot of people go, oh yeah, this is the 10,000 hour thing, where you've got to put 10,000 hours in, right? It's not about 10,000 hours. It's not. Your ability to learn and how quickly you can learn and process makes it easier for you to pick up new skills and learn new things. Stock DGen 1995. Masks don't work. Dems are taking our freedom away. What? Not exactly sure what you're talking about, man.
I think
Um,
he's just joking.
Yeah. So guys, this is how this works. That's why reading is actually going to be of value to you guys in the market. Emperor's New Clothes, keep that in mind. Bum 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 bum. I mean, opinions are opinions, man. I'm okay with that. I'm all about you wanting Trump in 2024, and I'm all about everybody wanting somebody else, and I'm all about democracy letting whoever wins wins. And sure, I just don't know what that has to do with anything that we're doing here. Um, the market is not directly dependent on the Oval Office, which is something that people have forgotten through Trump. Where yeah, Trump was market focused, and that's fantastic, but the market is also responsible for the market. And in many ways, you can place the blame on whoever you want. You can place the blame on the SEC, on Wall Street Bets, on Biden, on Powell, on Yellen, on Bezos stepping down. You can base it off of Tim Cook not moving fast enough. You can base it on the fact that the sun is out today and not rain. It, it's not really about personal opinion. The market is bigger than any one person or office, and the market is responsible for themselves. To think that bringing Trump back, you can blame me. I can take it. I got broad shoulders. The entire market is currently my fault. The reality is this, guys. Plant your flag in the ground and say this will make it better hypothetically. The reality is we live here and now. If you're gonna wait for Trump 2024, otherwise the market is never gonna come back. Well, I mean, good luck with that. But if you look at the SPY over time, Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter. The market ebbs and flows. It's what it does. Not to change the topic, but I'm also in SNDL with significant paper losses. How can you help fight the stress over my play being wrong? Okay. Okay. No, I was going to do it in a journal, but I'll do it in paint again. Okay. So here's how my mind works. Pelosi should be in trouble for insider trading too. She follows the rules the same as the Republicans did. She didn't do anything illegal. I don't have a problem with it. People were decrying. Democrats were decrying the same thing when Republicans made gains off of Kodak last during Trump's office. I'm not of that mind. Okay, so the way that I work, guys, is let's say this is the initial idea. Okay, so this is SNDL up here. And I do my time. Okay, so I do the due diligence, right? I do the due diligence. I know SNDL. I know why I got into it. I know why I put the money in. I know why I put that there, right? So what we're seeing here, guys, is SNDL. I've done the due diligence. And what happens is we're watching the stock price, and when I get into the position, it goes up like this. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling pretty good. It's up for a little bit, and then it goes down. So every time it goes down like this, what I do, instead of looking here, specifically, I look here and I look here. Okay. Actually, I should use, let's do this. I look here and here. Okay. And then it goes up a little bit and then it goes down again. And what I do is I look here and I look here. And then I watch it, and it goes up a bit, and then it goes down. And it's below my entry. And I look here, and I look here. And then again, it goes up a little bit, and then it comes down. And I look here, and I look here. Okay, so why is this important? Why is this important? Clavington nails it because the DD has not changed. When you take an initial position, and this is why this is so important, this is why I use Evernote, this is why I have a trading journal, guys, is so I know why I entered the position. If my initial DD has not changed, the stock price is not what's going to move me. The stock price is reality. It is reality. This is where it is right now. For sure. Absolutely. I agree with you guys. SNDL is down right now. I'm down about 50% in that position, if not more. It might be more actually at this point. So I'm down more than 50% in the position, but I keep returning to this. What was my initial DD? Why did I enter the position? I entered the position on the DD and the analysis that this was going to happen. So for me, again, the way that I trade, it's not about cutting my losses. I have seen consistently that my DD is accurate. I read what a company is going to do. I read what they are about, and I'm trading the company. I'm not trading on what everybody says. I'm not trading on the current stock price. And I've done this in the past. And people have looked all last year. Right now at this time last year, people were giving me the same crap that I'm hearing about Zomedica and SNDL as I was taking on ACRX. Ah ha ha, ACRX still isn't going. Ah ha 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 ha. Okay, and it's not just ACRX. There's been tons of plays that I've done that with. OCGN was another one, and it ended up being a 200% gainer for me. ACRX, I made 80% on. There's lots of these things, guys. I know the position that I'm in. Now, could there have been a better entry? Absolutely. Could there have been an exit? I should have taken this initial loss and waited for it to do this complete dump. Sure, that's possible. But for me, you're asking me how I deal with this. I deal with it with this constant revisiting of the initial DD. Now, what is the exception to this? In my thought process and how I trade, if this DD changes, so let's say it drops like this, right? It drops to here, and I revisit the initial DD. And the reason why I'm trading SNDL initially is the US is planning to legalize pot. They are debt-free with $700 million cash in hand. If they drop here and all of a sudden the US makes an announcement at this point, right here, we are not going to legalize pot. The Democrats have decided that pot is bad, drugs are bad, okay, and we're not going to legalize. I exit the position at a loss because the initial DD has failed. Okay? Or SNDL blows their $700 million buying a Canadian pot company instead of a US pot company. My DD has changed on the company. They no longer have $700 million cash in hand. They acquired something that I think is useless. So I get out of the position. That's how I work. It's continuously revisiting SNDL, that initial DD, and going, is my DD changed? Has it changed? Is it altered in one way or another? If the answer is no, then I keep on trucking. If the answer is yes, I exit, move on to something else. That's how I do it myself. I don't know if that's helpful for you, less than 3, but yeah, everybody's got to have their own psychology too, right? Which is why, guys, if I go to that reading list, right? If I go here, when you open up the stock market reading list for a lot of people, you're going to see a lot of the books that are here. You'll see The Intelligent Investor. You'll see Trading in the Zone. You'll see Reminiscences of Stock Operating. You'll see Trend Following. You'll see a lot of those books. One Up on Wall Street. You'll see, right? But there's a reason why I also pepper in with my stock rating a lot of psychology books, a lot of business books. How I built this it has nothing to do with the market. It has everything to do with how a small idea turns into a big business. Adaptive markets is specifically about the stock market, but it's flying in the face of the efficient market hypothesis. Tipping point is a psychology of business thing. Neurodiscipline, extreme ownership, practicing the practicing mind, how to win friends and influence people, drive, the power of habit, a whole new mind. These are books about psychology, the subtle art of not giving a fuck. These things are psychology books, right? They help you to think. They help you to understand how you think and how you respond to things. That's why when shit hits the fan, I'm able to just respond with calm. Millennial, this is diving, or it's taking off to the moon. And my response is, okay. Well, why aren't you excited or scared or whatever? Because I just don't allow myself to have an emotional response to anything, because I find that consistently emotional responses to trading result in losses. So instead, I let my mind do my trading, and then I let my emotion kick in when I celebrate a win. Yep. This book right here is the one that I recommend everybody starts with if you're going to be an FA trader. Culture Code by Daniel Coyle. This is one that's all about herd mentality. It's not specifically on the market though, but this is about herd mentality. This is how large networks of people think. The other one would be the starfish and the spider. Understanding how structures operate as a decision maker with and without a specific head. So stonks go up, am I right? Unless they go down. But yeah, that's why I have books that are about actual business and understanding how businesses operate, how people think, and how people react. That's where I get that from, guys. Vaccine at Moderna is not associated with blood clots. Shares go up 9%. Nice, GXO. Nice. Yeah, it's an amazing read. It's a really great read. Um, yeah, it's on Loud Noises. It's here for you. All of those books are on that list for you. It's the Culture Code. Weird. For some reason, that went everywhere but Twitch, which is where I wanted it to go. All of them are on that list right there. And I have seen you guys actually buying those books, and I hope that you're reading them. That is another way that you guys can support the stream. I am an Amazon influencer, so anytime you guys buy books off that list, full disclosure, you are supporting me in a small way. So that's kind of cool too, where you guys can support the stream in another way by reading. Later, man. Thanks for swinging by. Appreciate you taking the time. Okay, what else do we have going on? DraftKings hires ex Verizon, so DraftKings is looking to get into mobile gambling. I have not. I have not read that one before. Nuanced shareholders are disappointed in what Microsoft is getting it for. Interesting. Stay at home stocks gain after the Johnson vaccine, which makes sense. SPY, guys, the narrative that the markets are dying, things are awful, things are horrible. What continues to amaze me is this. Somebody tell the SPY that. Somebody tell the SPY that. It's at 412. Like all-time highs on the SPY. Yeah, but that's just the SPY. The Dow and the Nasdaq, they're really hurting. And okay, and I agree. If you go to the map, the heat map, it's a sea of red. Well, not so much today. Tech is green today. But I mean, industrials, financials are in the red. Energy's in the red. Utilities are in red. Basic materials are red. Consumer goods, Tesla, Viacom are doing well. Viacom's bouncing back after a hit. But I mean, largely, consumer goods and services is red. There's a lot of red in this market. This too shall pass. Like I don't know what else to give you guys other than if you are trading on the day, hour, or tick, yeah, you're sweating balls for a reason because this is not the market that you have been in for the last year. Things change. Nothing stays the same forever. It's going to ebb and flow. Read some history books on historical market. The University of Berkshire Hathaway is a book by two guys that have attended every annual meeting for Berkshire Hathaway from when it was 30 people in a room to now when it's a stadium of people. And they give you their Cliff's notes or Cole's notes on here's what we got out of the conference today. And they go year by year in the book. Every chapter is a new year. And what you'll see is there's this pattern of ebb and flow. And believe me, we have been here before, just before the drop in the 80s of, oh no, inflation, the world is going to, and the 80s went down. And then it came back. And then it went down. And then it came back. So we open this up and I look over the last 10 years on the SPY. There's ebb and flow, ebb and flow, ebb and flow, ebb and flow, ebb and flow. You see? So currently we're in a state of flow. You were down 60% on Apple Leaps that went even today. What a roller coaster. Yeah. And I mean, that's it. And I'm not touting diamond hands for everybody. Sometimes you do need to cut and run. If you guys are trading in margin in any way, if you guys are trading on somebody else's money, I would genuinely be scared from my portfolio if I was trading on margin, but I'm not. I'm trading on cash in hand. I'm trading on market money, money that I made in the market. Okay. So am I sweating? No, no, because this is I started with $2,200. As long as I'm over $2,200, I'm winning. I'm still up 8 grand. If I liquidated everything right now, I'm green on the year. What is it? And I know it's not that easy for everybody. I know. But I can't be everybody. I can just be myself. GME has broken through, ladies and gentlemen. GME has broken through. We're down below that 140 line now. It hit 130 and bounced back up, but I expect that we'll see that decline throughout the day. If it breaks through on 20, expect it to fall to 100. If this falls below 120, I would say expect it to fall to 100, which should help my GME puts a little bit. Ride has officially hit a 52-week low. Bum, 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 bum. So let's go here. Let's go here. So this is the narrative from Citadel that he is Citadel is buying orders through dark pools and then selling on the open market to artificially drive down the price. What is up?
All right, let's test that theory.
Aston a lock.
I can see all of it, and I do not see a single GME one.
Yeah, guys, Redemption has access to the dark pools, which is why I always love this dark pool theory, because retail traders have just found it. Aston a lock. Welcome. Glad to have you here, man. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple guys that have access to dark pool, and that's why they're doing that. But GXO, Mara is. I think that for you to compare Mara to Coinbase, and that's the only reason why Mara is running, I think is a misread. I'm not arguing that it doesn't have some effect on it, but let's take a look at Bitcoin. Okay, so Mara is a mining company. For those of you that don't know, I'm sure everybody knows at this point, but let's take a look at it over the week. No, these are 1 week tickers, so this is a couple of years here. So from 2017, but here's from September of last year. This is Bitcoin. Is Mara running on Coinbase? No, Mara's running on Mara is running on Bitcoin. running. Coinbase is definitely a part of that. It's a piece of that. But come on, guys. Come on. My portfolio is on the year up 8 grand, but I am down currently in my holdings 47%. So I have a book cost of 108 grand. I am currently a market value of 58,000, holding long positions. But Aston, since you're new, I did start this portfolio with 2,200 US last January. Was able to take it to $50,000 by the end of last year. So 2,200 to 50,000. Was able to take that 50,000 so far this year up to 120 grand at the high. I took 10 grand out for myself. Bought these long-term hold positions, and I'm holding them through. So I remember trading Mara at $8. Yeah, so I'm still pretty happy. 8 grand on the year. I'm not sad about that. Just shy of a 20% gain still on the year, even being down 47% on my current portfolio. Nvidia is mooning. Nvidia will continue to moon. Semiconductors are going to continue to moon. As lockdown persists, that semiconductor shortage is going to keep going, which has me bullish on UMC in a big way. I think UMC has huge potential. My Macy's puts are showing some life. ACRX calls are showing a little bit of life. GME puts are not really moving. We need a massive fall on GME for something to happen there. But yeah, I mean, Mara I could have held for sure, but I took gains on it, and I'm not going to sweat it. All the pot stocks are down. I wonder if OGI is down, because OGI beat on earnings. Yeah, even OGI is down, even though they beat by $4 million on their earnings, which is crazy to me. Yeah, for me, UMC is the semiconductor play that I am looking at personally, just because of where I like my equity to be when I play it. But that semiconductor is going to be big. It's going to be big, 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 big. 100 new ETFs. Another reason why I'm not playing ETFs. Canaccord cuts Afria. Let's go to Reuters and see what's trending in the news. He bought a random stockweed company by accident. Okay, Singapore's Grab, guys. This is another food delivery company that is not profitable. I am not hyped on this. I don't care. White House advisors say J&J pauses to have little impact on U.S. vaccination plan. That's because the bulk of U.S. vaccines are actually Moderna. They have some Pfizer and some J&J, but the bulk of them are Moderna, which is why it's not really sweating over that. Iran, 60% uranium enrichment. This is going to be a problem that Biden has to deal with. Okay, so economists think that we are due for higher inflation. Okay. Smart money is not as smart as it thinks it is, guys. Please never forget that. Russia escalation. So we're going to see some Cold War stuff. China is going to come against the U.S. because Biden is weak. As far as his global sentiment, Russia could care less what Biden has to say. We haven't seen any of this Cold War crap between Russia and the U.S. for obvious reasons. We are going to start to see it. China as well. As much as Biden is making buddy, he can't be buddy and have issues against Chinese stocks on the SEC, Hong Kong criticism, and the Uyghurs. He's going to criticize those points because he has to as a liberal politician, which is going to put him at enmity with China. He has to deal with Iran. There's a lot of issues that a more conservative president wouldn't have had to deal with. Trump wouldn't have to deal with Russia. Trump wouldn't have to deal with Iran, and China knew what they were dealing with Trump, where they didn't want to poke a sleeping tiger again. With Biden, it changes the game. They want to see how soft he is.
Biden, he's just sleeping. You know what I mean?
Here it is. Here's the warning. So as soon as I say that, guys, Russia warns the U.S. Hong Kong announces it's going to continue taking away the rights of their people and allowing China to do what's going on. Iran is enriching uranium all of a sudden now that Biden's in charge, right? Chinese premier calls for more communication while at the same time telling the U.S. to keep their nose out of Taiwan. Right? Like all of the people that are other powers that have been ultimately silent for a large part through Trump are now making their moves because they want to see what Biden's actually going to do. And to date, Biden hasn't done squat other than calling Putin a bully, which is like, okay. I don't think that we see a World War III scenario, guys. And here's why I don't think we see a World War III scenario. You want to know what World War III looks like? This is what World War III looks like. Everywhere. Asinalock. I don't play music for a couple of different reasons. One is DMCA on Twitch. Also, I monetize on YouTube, so playing that is a no-go. Also, I find that everybody's got a different taste in music, so you're open to listen to your music, whatever you want to listen to. Yeah, Struct, it's exactly that commentary for sure. Regardless of what weapons World War III is fought with, World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. It's a famous quote from Einstein. It holds true. This is not profitable for anybody. Nobody wants this. So what you're going to see is, instead of a World War III, what you're going to see is another Cold War. And it's going to be a digital Cold War, and it's going to be a Cold War that's fought in the markets, in the economies. It's not going to be fought on battlefields. It's going to be fought in currency. No, Olympians, I disagree. I absolutely disagree. If China takes Taiwan, it takes Taiwan. That's it. You think Biden is going to be the next Nixon? He's going to go. We're going to have another Vietnam? Not likely, man. I don't think Biden has the cojones. Russia took Ukraine. Nobody's done jack squat about it. And you know what, guys? I hear you guys like I've heard that narrative. Oh, they'll take another. They'll take another. They'll take another. Honestly, if you guys haven't read this book, it's surprisingly accurate. And for me, it wouldn't be shocking. Give it a read if you've never read it, the book 1984. I think eventually what you're going to see happen is you're going to see a larger Russian state, you're going to see a larger Chinese state, and you're going to see a European Union of some kind, where all the bankrupt countries just essentially dissolve into the other European countries, and that's what we're going to get. You're going to have this European bloc, you're going to have this Asian bloc, you're going to have the Americas. And these three blocks are going to be where you live. That's it. And all three will say that they're the bad guys, but they're all so big and they're aware that there comes a point where you can't cross that bridge. Is Russia going to move into Mongolia or China Or Korea. No. Zom is off the watch list? Does that mean that you took an entry or you're just not looking at it? Yeah, I live in Ontario. I am next to the largest bodies of freshwater in the world. I live in Canada. This crap's too cold for anybody. Russia doesn't want to come over here. That means they got to mess with the US. This is Boston police using a robot police dog. Oh, no, this is New York. Sorry, I lied. New York police using Boston Dynamics robot dog. I haven't. Shoot me the link. Oh, this is Trump's fault somehow. That's what everybody's saying. Is it reminds them of the Black Mirror episode. This episode right here. What's funny is this is somehow Trump's fault. Like, come on. Anything bad that happens is Trump's fault for the next 8 years. Anything good that happens is Biden's fault. Okay, guys, this is an evil base. Come on. Okay, guys. One of the things that evil villains love to do is make their houses in the shape of their name. What is Putin's name? No, everything was not Obama's fault. What headlines are you reading, Saki? Everything was Trump's fault from go. Vladimir! He built his house in the shape of a giant V, and his name is Vladimir. Come on! Of course, the actual house is underground. Of course, it is. That's where you keep Bond, right? You don't keep him up top where it looks legit. You keep him in the basement. Martini and I have been saying this for a while. The US is playing checkers, China and Russia are playing chess. All right, guys, I need a refill. I'm going to run that ad real quick. I don't know when Martini is deciding to stream. She'll get to it when she gets to it. I'm going to run an ad real quick. I'm going to go do some top ups. I'm going to go drain the snake. I'll be right back. Yeah, I'm definitely still live, hun. All right, all right, all right. G-Tech with a new EV. I think EV Ride is my play on EV. I don't know that I would look at anything else at this point. Unplug it, count to 30, plug it back in, and make sure you do that with the right one. So it's the one that has all the little ears. Yeah. So unplug it, plug it back in. Look at GME, and here we go. Oh, back to 145. um, yeah, all this is they've created a Twitter group. This is not a big deal for me. Like, people have been doing this already. They've created their own group of physicians. All they've done is create a Twitter list. Ooh, shiny. Yeah, GME guys is back up to 145. You'll see rockets. So it fell from 140 at the open to 132 at the low. It's currently sitting at 144. So this is just not updated. There we go. So it is up $4 on the day. I don't know. And guys, this again is why you need to zoom out. Okay. If you're new here and you haven't seen this before, I'm going to show you a very powerful strategy for you to consider. If you are zoomed in this close, so you're looking at the day at the minute, which is how a lot of retail traders are trading, you're looking at this chart and going, oh, it's to the moon. Zoom out. Here's GME last December. Okay, here we go. Here's GME at 483. Here it is at $1.43. You tell me, to the moon? Rocket ship? SNDL has to be below that for 30 days. If they stay below the dollar mark for 30 days, then they're going to hear something. Otherwise, they'll be fine. And with 420 coming up, I imagine that they have press prepared. So again, I wouldn't really sweat it. We can take a look at that, though. Let's take a look at that. Has my DD changed? Has my DD changed? Let's take a look. Senate legal pot news. 1 week ago. Senate will act on marijuana legalization with or without Biden. Schumer has reassured people that despite Biden not really being an outspoken advocate of legalizing pot, the Senate's moving forward irregardless. It won't deter the Senate from taking aggressive action to loosen federal restrictions. At some point, we are going to move forward, period. Legalization of states worked out remarkably well. They were a great success. The parade of horribles never came about, and people got more freedom. The thing is, there are also Republican senators that are Well, there's two acts. There's the Safe Banking Act and the CARES Act that are both on the Senate floor that they can vote. The SAFE Act provides the ability and access to loans and banking for the companies, so they'd be able to get off of the OTCs, a lot of these pot companies, and actually join the market. As well, they'd be able to get loans and credit, which is big. The other thing is the CARES Act, which allows people who have previous legal issues to clear those and join the workforce. So does it remove marijuana completely from the Controlled Substances Act? You'll have to wait. I don't want to get into the details of our bill. You'll have to wait and see. Soon. Soon is the only promise. Soon. I wouldn't be shocked if we see a bill drop on 420. Next Tuesday, I would not be shocked if we see a bill introduced in the Senate for the legalization of pot. It would not surprise me. Oh, Roaring Kitty has tweeted. It is the Emperor's New Clothes, guys. The more that I stare at it, the more that I look at it, it's the Emperor's New Clothes. If Roaring Kitty sells and makes a public declaration that he's sold, he will be charged for stock manipulation. He will. He will be charged for stock manipulation because you will see GME crater. On the tweet, if somebody were to hack, and I'm not advocating this, but I'm saying if Anonymous or somebody were to hack Roaring Kitty's Twitter and put out a tweet, I'm out of GME. It's been a blast. I'm out, guys, taking my gains and I'm done. GME would crater. Does anybody think that wouldn't happen?
But millennial apes strong together.
Yeah. What happens when you take out the leader? Apes are pack animals. You take out King Ape, it's all over.
They're gonna kill each other trying to be the next alpha.
How is that illegal? Well, so Saki, that's where they're already trying to ding him on this, is that his public disclosure of his positions, he would have to announce that he is going to get out before he gets out, so that it's not a pump and dump. He would have to announce tomorrow is Friday, or tomorrow is Wednesday the 14th. I will be exiting my GME position at open in order to make it not a pump and dump. He can sell. He's perfectly entitled to sell. But at this point, given the amount of publicity that he's had that he's in the position, he would have to publicly announce that he's going to get out ahead of time so that he's not in some way complicit in a pump and dump. He's not aft. I mean, his position's aft. He's not aft. All he has to do is say, I'm planning to get out, ding him on a pump and dump. He just has to disclose that he's getting out at a certain time. And whether, I don't know what's reasonable on that. I would say it would have to be at least an hour. If he doesn't say anything at all, I think he's fine. If he doesn't make a comment from this point forward, if he doesn't make a point from this point forward, one way or the other, I'm out, I'm in, I'm holding, I'm whatever, I think he's fine. But that he continues, that he continues to pump the narrative, I am still holding, I think he's made himself complicit in a pump and dump, unless he also is as public that he is going to get rid of his position. Do you think it's coincidence? Let's see. When did he tweet his tweet? His tweet came in at 10:25. So there's 10:20. Okay, it's the candle before this one. Does his tweet have any effect? Saki, the narrative is this. On a pump and dump, the way that it works is you buy first, you take the position, it runs to the moon because your crowd follows in, because there's unlimited stock to buy. You can just keep buying it up. That's not true for the short side. Eventually, there are short shares that aren't available. You can't just short forever into eternity. It's not possible. But buying on the other side, people can just keep buying. And then when you exit a position before you disclose that you're exiting the position, and then everybody sells and 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 sells. It's exactly what a pump and dump is. Oh, you are correct. It declined from 1025. I stand corrected, nous voila. And that, Saki, that would be the narrative that he takes as well. I'm just a guy. But the other side is going to try to prove that he's not just a guy. It's less about the world and more about Roaring Kitty as a personality. And the case that anybody who's going to take litigation against Roaring Kitty is going to try to prove, just lawyer up and sell against the SEC, okay. We're playing in the gray area with this. Social media used as a financial instrument is such dark gray area that nobody knows what would happen. But in my opinion, I don't think that he beats the SEC on that. I think that you can easily access Reddit or subpoena Reddit to see an endless wave of narratives that Roaring Kitty's holding, and so am I. Now, if I was his attorney, the counterpoint that I would have is search social media to see Buffett's holding, and so am I. But it is what it is. Again, shorting a company, guys, there's a limited amount of shares that you can short. Buying a ticker, there is not a limited amount of shares that you can buy. Yeah. All I think all the SEC would need to do is sit in the court, subpoena Reddit for uh, the complete repository of posts regarding GME and scan it for he's still in, I'm still in, any mention of roaring kitty, kitty, or apes hold if kitty holds. Anything with the term roaring kitty or he's still in, and put that in front of a court and say, oh yeah, sure, he has no influence over this massive group of people. Blackstone to buy Saber from Jordan? Hold up. Snow, shoot me a link. Really? Yeah, I'd love to see a link if that's happening. My Saber play is in need of some love, so I've got Saber into 2023, guys. My Saber play, that's my travel sector play. I've got Saber $20 calls into January 2023. Blackstone to acquire Saber Industries. I don't think that this is Saber. I don't know that this is the Saber. I don't know that this is the same company. Yeah, this is Saber Corp and not Saber Industries. Yeah, had me really excited there though. Citron's Andrew left shorts Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. I'm not surprised given the premium that he's charging for you to own that trust. I think people will realize that they can just buy the underlying or buy something else. Saber reacted to the news. It did. You are correct. Still down a little bit on the day, but it did do a thing. Saber is going to have options trading. What? May 28th, options begin trading on Saber as of the 8th. Okay. Zomedica is still holding just above the dollar line. SNDL making its way back up to the dollar line. Do I own any cryptos? Yeah, I own Ethereum. I've got some cash in Ethereum. AHT is to the moon. I mean, my Ethereum position is up, I believe. Yeah, I'm up. I'm up 24% on my Ethereum position. Yep. I bought Ethereum on the dip when it went down. Uh, my issue with that, Lord Thantos, is that my current position in Zomedica is 40% of my portfolio. So I'm not actually willing to do that. I'm not willing to increase my position anymore. I've got a 42% holding in Zomedica. I have a 40% holding in FTOC and a 20% holding in Sundial. Yeah, so if I was to shift my SNDL position over to my Zomedica, or my, SNDL over to Zomedica, 80% of my portfolio would be in a single position. There's no way I'm going to do that. I The reason why I like Ethereum over Bitcoin, guys, is Ethereum is the one that institutions seem to be yielding. So you think
Actually
Zom
used
would
for
make a move?
something.
Well, it really depends, Lathantos. With 420 coming up and all the talk from the Senate that they are soon going to drop a bill for the legalization of pot in the U.S., I think SNDL might actually be seeing a catalyst before Zomedica. But it really is just a race to PR at this point. And the big hope with Zomedica is the my big hope on Zomedica is Cohen Zomedica. Is this guy? Is Robert Cohen deciding when to drop the news? This is the gentleman where if you go back to his beginning as an executive, vice president of business development with Pfizer for 11 years. So when did Viagra come out? Man, Viagra came out in 1998, so after his time. Yeah, I'm coming down to eat with you guys. Is it, lunch is at 11? Go find out then. Don't come up and ask me if I'm coming down if you don't know when lunch is. Coinbase is tomorrow for IPO. SNDL could be before 420 or just after. Zemetica earnings are in May. Yeah, this guy has moved from company to company to company. He works largely in mergers and acquisition. If you read through all of his stuff, okay. If you look at most of his stuff, he works in mergers and acquisitions. That's why people bring this guy in, is mergers and acquisitions. He works towards mergers and acquisitions. Mergers and acquisitions. Raising capital. He sold the company to a large pharmaceutical. Okay, so let's go through this. Since Pfizer, obviously he didn't sell Pfizer, but after Pfizer, worked for GCI Medical for less than a year. It was a medical investment company funded by the founder, chairman of $750 million company. Went through the process of R&D, selected 2 companies. Acquisition. So he worked in acquisition here, okay? Solzer Medica, sold the company. Globally responsible for mergers and acquisitions. Accomplished a dual listing on the Zurich and the New York Exchange after leading the IPO team. $600 million purchase of Spinetech, moved on to the next thing. So acquisition. Okay. Next one, St. Jude Medical. Company-wide responsibility for mergers and acquisitions. Completed extensive project to reorganize the company's sales activity in Japan, led to increased revenue income levels, maintained excellent relationships with clinical research financial business on behalf of St. Jude. Moved on to advanced circulatory systems. In a year, first 15 months on the job, raised $3.7 million, design and development production, initiating a redesign effort, new contract manufacturer, obtaining 2 510K clearances for the company's tech, establishing a full quality control system, developing a short and long range strategic plan to guide the company. Sold the company to Zoll Medical. Sold another company, mergers and acquisitions. Travanti Pharma. Sold the company. Miromatrix. This was president and CEO. Blah, 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 blah. Fundraising, blah, blah, blah. Increased value from 0 to approximately $90 million in 5 years. Emblematics. Joined the company on the verge of bankruptcy, restructured, strategic plan, redirected and completed product development first product capital, then attracted several potential strategic buyers, completed the sale of the company to one of the buyers in 2019. Guys, what do you think he's going to do? This is his track record. He comes in to sell companies. I wonder what he's doing with Zemetica. I wonder who possibly could be interested in Zemetica and their new test kits. I wonder if there's anybody out there that could potentially be interested. I think there's a large possibility that there is a buyout by IDEX. This Trueforma is in direct competition with their leading product. No, SNDL does not want to buy Zomedica. No, that's not the play. I think the play is Cohen was brought in to sell Zomedica to a bigger buyer. When you have a debt-free company that's walking into an emerging industry as a lead player and they are worth pennies on the dollar, for the price to be going down just makes it easier for him to sell the company, right? Now, what do I think they sell the company for? I think probably $8. $8 a share is where it comes in at. Yeah. Yeah. I think the preferred shares took common shares because they understand that IDEX is what their shares will become. The more common shares you own, the more IDEX shares you will own. That's my thought. That's hypothetical. That's not financial advice. That's me looking at who's running the company, what they're doing, what I am seeing. That's my thought. Uh, yeah, the shares outstanding don't really matter for me. And people like to keep coming back to that, but so yeah, blank space. It's not depending on that sole piece of DD. So let's say he doesn't get a buyout for the company. Does the company have a pipeline? Do they have no debt? Are they in an emerging industry? Are they opening up their sales for the first time on their lead product across the US? Yes, all of those things are true. Okay, I'm fine holding on that DD alone. Now that you have a CEO who's well known for selling pharma companies, do I think Zomedica will go at least above my $2 buy-in? Yes. I think the lowest a possible buyout offer could come is $5. I think it's more likely to come in around $8. My thoughts. Millennial, what are you coming to that conclusion based off of? My cojones, my gut, all of those little thought bubbles that I drew on paint before. Timing is so important when looking for a buyer. Yeah. And actually, I know this seems counterintuitive to a lot of people, but a price decline is a good thing for a buyout, right? A decline in share price makes this more appealing for a buyout. So you have to realize it's not just is Zomedica worth $5 billion, is owning Zomedica worth $5 billion to IDEX. By eliminating the emerging competition, is that worth it to IDEX? Acquiring their tech, acquiring their patents, acquiring their customer base, is that worth it, eliminating a major competitor in the future? That's exactly it, Larthantos. What if Zomedica becomes a major competitor that they could have bought at $1? They pay the premium. It's the warning of Blockbuster and Netflix. And we touched on this a bit yesterday, but it's the Blockbuster Netflix thing, in my opinion. Blockbuster had an opportunity to buy Netflix. They didn't. Oh, yeah. And I think that's fine. And here's investors' place, not knowing their heads from their assholes. Pounce on the pullback. Get on Zemetica now. This is a company that's been beating down this stock endlessly. Get in now. Get in, get in, get in, get in, get in. This was on April 2nd. They posted this. Get in, get in, get in, get in. Now's the time. Get in. April 2nd on Zemetica. Get in. Zemetica on April 2nd was $1.46. It's $1.06 now. Investors' place. Okay. Yeah, so that is what it is. Oh, somebody finally said stock price. Yeah. Guys, it just is for me a for me it's a solid play, and I completely understand, guys, if this is not a play for you. I'm not trying to sell you on it. I don't want you to trade what I'm trading. I want you to trade what looks good to you. But if people are asking me why it looks good to me, that's why. Medical examiner rules that the shooting of Dante Wright in Minnesota is a homicide. During a press conference on Monday, the police chief said he believes the officer meant to pull out a taser, but instead pulled out a gun. Roll. Other Sonny with that Prime Gaming sub. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Greatly appreciated. Love you, subs. Love you, love you, love you. 46 subs now. Yes, biopharma companies usually sell for more because what you're buying is the future potential of the pipeline, right? You're not buying what the company's worth today, you're buying what the company's going to be worth, which is different than buying a tech company where largely you're buying tech on what they are as they currently exist. Microsoft paid for what Nuance is worth today, not what Nuance could be worth 5 years from now, which is what has Nuance pissed off. This is bad news, by the way, for the officer here. This officer is boned. Now, in this instance, it is interesting that the press is not showcasing the officer. The officer who shot this young man was actually Latino instead of white. Typically, they do show the officer if it is a white police officer, but in this case, it was a Latino officer, so we are not seeing any press on the fact that it is a Latino. We are focusing instead on the fact that it is a cop. So there's that. What else is trending here? 7 million. So this is quoting the 1 in 7 million chance of getting a blood clot. DGLY. Let's see how we're doing there. It's at $1.80. It's down 11% today from the hype yesterday. Again, guys, protest season just getting started. How do you confuse a gun for a taser? Excellent point. Taser. Gun. Gun. Taser. You know, you know, uh, just saying, some of these tasers, and I'm not condoning what happened. I'm just saying some of these tasers, this taser here does look an awful lot like a firearm. Now, granted, these ones here don't, but I doubt that those are the ones that law enforcement officers. My argument, guys, is how many of you guys have been in a high adrenaline situation? Because what you're saying is somebody is logically processing in a split second the weight of a handgun. And unfortunately, that's just not the case. When adrenaline's pumping like that, you're not thinking that way. The adrenaline that's running through that lady, there's no way that she processed in that split second, is this a taser or a gun? She reached, grabbed, and fired. So in that split second, we're talking a fraction of a second from here to here, she did not register the weight of the weapon with the adrenaline that was happening. Now, that would be another thing, Larthanthos. I think that there is training in order here. I'm there, guys. I am there. Obviously, there should be two different sides. Left is laser, which rhymes with taser. Right is gun, which means you're done. Right? Like, I'm sure there's an easy way to do that. However, in the instance, and I'm not condoning what happened, I'm not condoning the shooting. I think it's negligent what happened for sure. I think that this officer should be removed from the force. But I also think that there's an element of you need to be training officers that in a split second situation, you don't pull triggers, irregardless of if it's a taser or a handgun. Irregardless of whether it was a non-lethal or lethal enforcement, pulling a trigger can't be the immediate reflex response. That's how somebody gets shot, is it a reflex response. It wasn't a slow thought out aim, warning, fire. Because if it was aim, warning, fire, I don't think that would have happened. So, ooh, a dime from a time. She was a cop for 26 years. What training is going to solve this? This is exactly the problem. Cops who have been cops for 26 years don't regularly go in for repeat training. If there was mandatory training on firearms every quarter, every 4 months, you have to go in for a refresher on both taser and gun safety, it's going to happen. She yelled, "I'm going to tase you," then shouted, "Taser, taser, taser," as per protocol. And she didn't look at what was in her hands. I'm going to go with that's gross negligence and she should be terminated. How do you train when you defund the police? Another excellent argument. I would agree. I would concur. If the doctor in an ER sticks a scalpel up your ass instead of a thermometer, what do you think is going to happen to the doctor? I agree. I think that's a case here. And I'm laughing, guys, not out of anything, but in her defense, she was yelling, "Pika, Pika, Pikachu." Damn. There was also a passenger in the car. I don't get how you can pull a trigger with someone in the passenger seat aiming at a driver. Yeah, I agree. So to all the officers' detriment, this gentleman was on the phone with his mother through the entire incident, so she heard audibly everything that was happening. As well, there was a passenger in the vehicle that will give eyewitness testimony to what's going on. Has anyone seen what happened in New Mexico? No, I have not seen it. I'm not going to show this. Police said Cueva had a violent criminal history, including drug charges involving cocaine and meth. So for me, this would be one where what I'm considering on this is, okay, so we've got a guy here that you pull over, you tag the vehicle, you see that the vehicle is licensed to a guy named Omar Cueva, who has a violent criminal history. Okay, okay, I'm there, I'm there. That's not what I want. Come on, you know better than this. Dante, not Dwight. I merged Dante White with Dwight. Um, so in this instance, I'd want to know what his priors were. Is he a violent offender? Is Dante Wright a violent offender? Now, he did have outstanding warrants, but I just want to know, did he have outstanding priors that were violent in nature? Or was his outstanding warrant for speeding tickets? Governor announces curfew. Police department authority has been transferred to the mayor's office, so it's no longer under the chief of police. This makes it for a difficult situation for this mayor, seeing as he is an African American. He's going to have a lot to answer for in that. This man didn't deserve to die. That's not what I'm arguing in any way, shape, or form. Okay, what happened was negligent, in my opinion, irregardless of the outstanding criteria around it. And this is kind of a limp wrist response from Biden here. While we await a full investigation, we know that we need to do more to move forward, rebuild trust, and ensure accountability so no one is above the law. Great. How? How? And this has been the answer that, remember, guys, when we looked at stats on this back in January and February, where everybody said this had kind of died down and won't be an issue. Statistically, and it's unfortunate, but when you go to the stats, I knew that one of these events was coming up. It had to happen, and it's unfortunate that it has to happen. But statistically speaking, it was an inevitability. And Biden knew that as well. Somebody in Biden's office knew that this was going to happen eventually. He needed to have a response. And this is not the response. A how needed to be there. And before y'all get up in there and go, well, Trump didn't have a response, live today. We are here today. Biden is supposed to be the savior of Black America. So tell me, how in the world is that the response? Give me a how. You're in charge, Biden. You have full control. You have no handcuffs. You own the House, the Senate, and the Oval Office. Give me a how. Don't give me a I should. Give me a how. Officer Kim Porter, white lady. They have voted to relieve city manager Kurt Bogany of his duties. He did not manage the situation well, so he has been relieved of all of his duties. He wants people to go home. Unfortunately, that's probably not going to happen. Not a Latino. Nope. White lady. Which will, regardless of whether we want it to or not, it will affect this in a big way. This will feed into the systemic racism. This will become a systemic racism thing. So, anyways, guys, on that note, my family's waiting for me for lunch, so I'm going to head down and do that. I'm going to send you guys over to hang out with the stock guy. Have an amazing day. I will not be back tomorrow. It is F Wednesday. I'm taking that for video and content creation, so you will not see me tomorrow, but you will see me every day following for the rest of the week.
You're joining me for my stream, though, right?
I might pop in for sure.
Cool.
I might pop in for sure. So, guys, Redemption will be streaming. I will not be streaming. I put in the raid command. Is it? Oh, it's over on YouTube. So you better put your YouTube in chat there. Why did that raid not raid? Anybody know? Olympians, 2 months Prime.
Did he turn off raiding or something?
Okay. I don't know why the command didn't work, but I put exclamation mark raid instead of the backslash. That's all. All right, guys, have an amazing day. I will catch you later. Redemption, if you want people to show up at your YouTube channel, you got to put that in there for them. Later.